Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Anchorage Ice Tigers Draft to Glory franchise mode here in NHL 23. So we are 4 wins away from winning a Stanley Cup, which is unreal. This team is off to the Cup Finals against the Florida Panthers, and both of us had very similar records in the regular season, so it's going to just be probably a pretty close matchup, I'd say. They do got a very solid forward core. Their defensive core is also pretty solid. And then obviously goalie-wise, they do have Spencer Knight, which is going to be making things tough. But our offense has been unreal so far. Our penalty kill has been terrible. But this team has had an incredible run up to this point. Let's run through the first rounds of what happened. We swept the Nashville Predators. Then we had a very tough series with the Winnipeg Jets where we found ourselves down 3-1. But we managed to rally back with an OT win and then win 2 straight games to get ourselves the win in that second round. Then this conference finals, we found ourselves down 1-0 in the series but rallied back with 2 wins. Then it was tied up and we needed to make some changes defensively, so we put in the young goaltender in Cox and also took, Farrell out of the lineup, the defenseman, and put Kalinin in. And this team was fantastic defensively and won their last 2 games with only allowing 2 goals in them. And we found ourselves now up here in the Stanley Cup Finals against Florida. I never thought this team would get this far this fast, but we're literally 4 wins away. Now, this might be the furthest we ever get in this playoff, this entire series. It might not be. Maybe this team comes back to the Cup Finals again in a couple years, depending on if this team wins or loses or not. But wow, it's just been an insane run because there's been a lot of guys contributing to the offense, and then also we've had a lot of clutch goals in this playoff run as well. We've had a lot of short-handed goals. We've had a lot of power play goals. Guys like Parrott have 4 game-winning goals already, which is kind of nuts. Keith has been fantastic in terms of his passing ability and scoring. He scored a hat trick in I think it was in game 2 of the conference finals, or maybe it was in the second round. I don't remember which round it was in, but our top guys that we're paying a lot of money to are the ones that are contributing mostly, which is really great to see. And then you also have guys that are making not a lot of money, like Claxton, for example, who's only making $1.5 million, but he's been contributing here in the playoffs. And yeah, Festorini's been contributing as well. And then, as I said, the young goaltender in Sean Cox has had an incredible playoff run so far as the backup goaltender. Neil's been kind of at times. He's been also really good at times. He is going to be starting the Stanley Cup Finals, which might be a mistake. But we will probably start him for game 1. And if he's absolutely trash, we know we could turn to Cox. And hopefully Cox could give a good effort since he's got those X factors and all that type of thing. So anyways, that is that. Before we get into the Stanley Cup Finals, I will show you guys the Florida Panthers lines again, just in case you forget. Now, this episode is pre-recorded as well, just because obviously I can't contain my excitement enough about the Stanley Cup Finals. But here is their forward core. As you can see why I say it's a pretty good forward core. You got guys like Kachuk, Barkov, Lundell's there. Konechny's pretty solid. This Schneider guy's a low elite potential player, so he's pretty good. They just in general have a really good forward core. Nobody's below an 81 overall on this team in terms of the offensive core. So that's a pretty good team so far. And then you can see defensively, they have some good veterans like Dobson, Ekblad, Taves, and then a lot of younger guys like Leonard, and Jung's actually 27, I guess, and Moser's 30. But in general, pretty good defensive core. And then goaltending-wise, Spencer Knight has been unreal in the playoffs for them. And he could easily be the one that wins them the Stanley Cup. So we definitely need to find a way to continue scoring our goals, because Spencer Knight's technically the goaltender that could suffocate teams and wind out their offense. So hopefully we can find a way to score goals on him, since he's got 3 shutouts in 12 wins, which is quite crazy. And then depth-wise, you can see they also have some other good forwards, like Vesalainen, Nax decent, and then Cote as well. So no depth defender, but they probably do have somebody in the minors as well. But anyways, let's get into this Stanley Cup Finals and see if this team could somehow win a Stanley Cup in its first ever playoff run. If it's going to be a year, this might be the year, just because Florida also didn't have the greatest regular season. So, well, they actually had a solid regular season like us, so... But, it's not like a team that's all of a sudden, we're not going up against, the President's Trophy winners, or we're not going over a team that's just merely made it into the playoffs. We're going up against a team with almost an identical record to us, so... I think this series is definitely fair game in terms of who wins it. Let me actually look at the ratings quickly, because I am curious on this front. So what is the ratings? We got 91, 87, 78. So we're apparently just a bit better defensively than them, but they're better probably in offense and goalies. We're the same in offense, 91, and they're much better goalie-wise at 88. So it just comes down if we could score goals, pretty much. Because both of us have the same offense, we're better defensively, they're better goalie-wise. I'm going to be interested to see what ends up happening in the Stanley Cup Finals. So let's waste no more time and get it into game number 1 on the road. We're just barely on the road for the Stanley Cup Finals, but whatever. First period of game 1. Scoreless. I will take that. That is exactly like the way you want to start it off. We've been really good defensively since the line adjustments. Even it seems like maybe just better defensively in general the last few games, because now that Cox is not in net and Neal had a really good first period, maybe this team is just starting to click a little bit more on the defensive end, which is good. So, it's scoreless after 1. Shots are 13-9 in favor of us. Can we find a way to crack the goose egg in the second period? Second period, 2-1 Florida. Not liking that, really, but at least we're within 1. Barkov opens the scoring. Jorgensen ties it up for us, so the 2 captains likely. And then Matthew Tkachuk gives them the lead. We need to find a way to shut down those top guys on their first line for sure. Shots are 23-18 in favor of us. We're down by 1 goal going into the third. Can we find another hero to tie this game up in the third period? Come on, boys. This is an important game 1. Penalty kill early into the third period. We kill it off. Nicely done. Can we find a way to tie this up? No, we can't apparently. Barkov scores on Cox, so I don't know why Cox is in net now. If Neal got injured or something, which is hopefully not the case. But it looks like we're unfortunately not going to have any offense for us in game 1. And yep, Spencer Knight is going to continue playing like Spencer Knight. Like I said, we need to find a way to score goals if we want to win the series. And Spencer Knight is the type of guy that can suffocate teams. And he did that for the Florida Panthers in game 1. Jorgensen from Parrott and Keith, at least it's our top guys contributing there. But yeah, not great. Not great at all. Cox played 15 minutes because for some reason Neal got replaced. I don't know why. Hopefully he didn't get injured though. And all 3 stars are the top liners of the Florida Panthers. So I think I'm going to turn to Cox as the starting goalie for next game, just to see if that helps out or not. But hopefully our offense can get going a bit. Maybe we do need to take out Kalinin again, because Kalinen's made our team a bit more of a defensive team. But maybe we need that offensive touch a bit. Yeah, let's take Kalinin out. He's in a +6, but let's just try and change things up again, because I need this team to somehow respond to that game. We'll start Cox. And do we want to make anything else? Let's change Bickle and Jorgensen around. See if that works, because when we had Bickle on the top line, this top line was producing a lot better. So we'll see if that ends up helping our offense, because we need to score goals on Spencer Knight, or else we're not going to win. We're definitely not going to win only scoring 1 goal a game. So game number 2, still in Florida. Can we respond with a win here? This would be huge for our confidence going back home. Come on, boys. First period. Hey, there you go. That's the offense that I like to see. Harakala scores a power play goal. That's a great way to start it off for Harakala. And then Parrott scores again. When Parrott scores, most of the time we win the game. So hopefully that is a sign for things to come. Shots are 11-7 in favor of us after 1. We're up 2-0. So we got the Spencer Knight early. Can we continue to do that is the question. Second period, 3-1 us. Good that we have a 2-goal advantage, at least going into the third. Olsen made it 2-1, but a goal from Bickle makes it 3-1. Shots are 22-22. We're up by 2 goals. Can we lock down this game in the third period? Come on, boys. Power play early into the third. We do not convert, which is kind of surprising. Our power play is getting good, and there's another power play goal. Jorgensen, let's go. The captain scores that goal. Let's go. Looks like we're going to win a game on the road in the Stanley Cup Finals, and we have a chance to win some games on home ice to add to that and maybe get a series lead. Yep, we win 4-1 in Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals, and we have 3 wins away from winning the Stanley Cup, or 3 losses away from losing the Stanley Cup. So Harakala's 4th of the playoffs, so it seems like our defenders are scoring a good amount of goals as well this playoff run, from Zikov and Claxon. Parrott's 13th from Moroza, Bickle from Parrott and Keith, and Jorgensen from Keith and Parrott. Wow. I don't know how many times I've said Keith and Parrott, but the 2 of those guys have been unreal so far. 2 assists night from Keith, and then Parrott had 1 goal and 2 assists. See, whenever Parrott scores, he does phenomenal, and also Cox was great in that game. So I think we might honestly have to keep running with Cox, because Cox is winning every time he plays almost, and he's usually really like lights out, and seems like too. So I might have to play Cox again. Or I think, wait, nah, yeah, I think I'm gonna start Cox again, and if he loses a game, then I'll go back to Neal. But right now, Cox is the hot goalie. We gotta keep on playing the hot goaltender. Doesn't matter which one's making more money. But yeah, Cox is showing himself to being a phenomenal goaltender. Like, once that ELC comes to an end, you bet your ass I'm giving that guy a good extension if he's going to actually play that good consistently. Okay, so it is a 1-1 series here in the Stanley Cup Finals. We head home now for our first ever Stanley Cup Finals game on home ice. Can we take a 2-1 series lead here, and can Cox continue to play as good as he's been playing? Come on, boys. Come on. First period of game 3. 1-1. I will take that, I guess. Power play goal again from Boris Zikov. So our defenders are picking up a lot of power play goals as well. Like, our power play has probably been phenomenal. Like, I feel like we got at least like 15 power play goals almost around at this stage. Barkov, though, tied it up for them. Shots are 15-7 in favor of the Panthers, so not a great opening period in terms of getting offensive chances, but at least we are lucky to have the tie game going into the second. Can we get the lead in the second is the question. Second period, 3-2 Florida, not liking that. Jorgensen scores another power play goal, so power play has been phenomenal. We had a 2-1 lead, but then a power play goal against from Barkov and then a late goal from Oscar Olsson, and unfortunately we're down by a goal going into the third, with the shots being 31-15 for Florida. Our team definitely needs a lot more chances if they want to beat Spencer Knight consecutively. Let's see what happens in the third period, see if we can tie this one up and get it to at least to overtime. Penalty kill early in the third, and of course another power play goal against. It is Olsson with the goal. Our penalty kill has been brutal. Sorry, I had to pause it for a second because my voice is kind of dying on me. But yeah, another power play goal against that is not good. Not good at all. And unfortunately, we are going to lose 4-2 in a big game 3 as Florida wins on our home ice, and they outshot us quite badly in that one as well. So that loss really isn't on Cox, but the rest of the team definitely needed more offense going. So Zikov from Parrott and Bickle, and Jorgensen from Bickle and Zikov. Any badly minus players in that game? Couple guys -2. A lot of our top guys, actually. And yeah, Cox was okay. Yeah, I think I might need to make some more adjustments, especially to that penalty kill. I don't know what the problem is with the penalty kill. Like, we've given up so many power play goals this playoff run, but we're somehow in the Stanley Cup Finals. The 2-1 series lead for Florida. We definitely need to respond with a win of our own. Because if we go down 3-1, we will have to rally back from 3-1 for the second time. We are going to turn to Neal, just because Neal hasn't played in a bit. And I am going to take Farrell out again and go back to Kalinin, just for the defensive effort. And I am going to make a subtle line change, I think. Yeah, we're going to move Hartnell up and move Festerini down. Just try something like that out, see if that helps us out. And then we'll also go back to Jorgensen and Bickle, flip the two of them around, I think. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to try that out, see if that helps. And then we're changing Moroza with Zikov again. Move Cole, Niemainen back to with Harakala. And yeah, Strachan and Kalinin could play together. Yep, drastic little change there, but we'll see if that's enough to get this team back at a tie series and potentially gaining the series lead in Game 5 if we could get there. Come on, boys. This is a huge game. We need to win this one, or else we likely will lose a series unless we somehow manage to do what we did against the Jets, which I don't think could happen against Florida as easily. But here we go. First period of a crucial Game 4. And it's scoreless. I will take that, but we're being still badly outshot. 15-5. Our forwards have not been doing too well in these last two games in terms of getting shots on goal, so they definitely need to start waking up a little bit. Like, I don't know really what the problem is. We might have to flip around the lines even more so in next game, but we'll see if they'll come through in the second period and get a lot more chances on goal. Second period. 2-0 Florida. Wallstrom and Leonard. We're being outshot 28-12. This team has all of a sudden just dropped out of nowhere in terms of scoring goals and getting shots. Let's see what happens in the third period, but it looks like we're going to be down 3-1 in the Stanley Cup Finals. Yep, Moser makes it 3-0. That's not good. This team has had a historic playoff run, and it looks like it might honestly come to an end against Florida. Unless we can somehow rally back from another 3-1 deficit. Parrott makes it 3-1. It's good to see him score, but at least it's not even in a game that we win, though. That's the only the problem with that. 3-1 loss. Spencer Knight is right now the difference maker, I think. So Parrott from Keith and Jorgensen. That's Parrott's 14th goal of the playoffs. We're going to have such a late selection in the draft, too, so that's going to be a bit concerning. It was a good defensive effort in that game, but I need to make some sort of drastic change. So I think we're going to split up Keith and Parrott. As weird as that sounds, because both of them have been good together. We are going to try something drastic, like putting Jorgensen on the right side, Bickle on the left side, moving Parrott to the second line, and then moving Festerini up to get into the second line. Yeah, up to the second line. Hartnell back down, Cox back up, Walzer back down. And then defensively, we're going to flip Coley Minen and Moroza this time around. And put Moroza down, Arcala down there, move Kalinin up. And then we will go back to Cox, because Cox is the future of this team. And I think Cox could help us out here. He's been lights out in the playoffs so far. We need to find a way to win multiple straight games, which is going to be tough. Power play is great, but penalty kill has not been, but I don't really know what we could do with it. So anybody I could call up if I really wanted to make a call up, maybe Cassian. 2-way forward. How's his defensive stats? Not really that great. It's kind of average. Yeah, nothing really I could call up either in the minors that I think would help us out here. Aiden Tays, but I don't need to call up a goalie, really. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to run with here. A little bit of a line change. Moving Parrott to the second line is kind of weird, but we're going to try it out. Split Parrott up in Keith and see if that balances out our offense a little bit. We need to win 3 straight games. Let's see what happens here. We're not going to intervene unless we actually have a chance to win the Stanley Cup again. So, real-time simulation, game number 5. Can we fight off elimination and get to another game? Survive another day. Come on, guys. Hey, look at that. Boris Zikov scores early. That's a good way to start it off. That's definitely a good way to start it off. We're also getting more shots than we normally do, at least in the last 2 games, so that's also a good sign. But obviously, winning multiple games is pretty tough. So the shots are 10-6 in favor of us. After 1, we are up 1-0. Let's see what happens in second and see if we could add some insurance to this lead here. Come on, boys. Florida ties it up, goddammit. Barkov makes it 1-1. But a big answer from Strachan, of all people. That's his first goal of the playoffs in the Stanley Cup Finals. And we all of a sudden have a 2-1 lead, but then Devon Tays is going to answer back for them, and it's now tied at 2. That's not good. Penalty kill. Big penalty kill there at the end of this period, and it's going to be 2-2 after 2 going into the third period. This might be the last period this team plays this season. It might not be. Shots are 20-14 in favor of us. It's a 2-2 game. We need somebody to step up, and I know who I want to call on. Parrott, you're our kind of guy to score game-winning goals. Can you give us another game-winning goal in this third period and keep us alive? Let's see what happens. This is maybe our last period of the season. Come on, boys. Come on. You came this far. Let's keep on chugging. Power play opportunity. And look at that. We score a little bit afterwards. It's Jorgensen, the captain. That's a huge goal from the captain. Huge goal to keep us alive. Final few minutes. Can we hold them off? Yes, we can. We win 3-2, and we have survived another day, and we go to a Game 6 on home ice. That's a big win on the road. That's a big win on the road there. Zikov from Parrott and Zikov. That seems weird saying that. Strachan from Zikov and Parrott, and Jorgensen from Bickle. Whew, that was a close one. Cox gets another victory in the playoffs. Another really good goals against average game, but save percentage-wise not as much. But we get the victory. It's huge. 3 stars, Barkov, Zikov, and Parrott. So Parrott didn't score in that game, but he picked up 2 assists. So he's still coming up with some clutch points. So I guess we'll keep the team the same, and we'll put probably Cox in again just to get it all the way to a Game 7 if Cox could do that. 28 points in 22 games from Keith. He has been unreal so far. Keep the lineup the exact same, and yep, we're going to Cox again. Because I believe in this kid, because he's got a 935 save percentage through 10 games. Okay, we need to win another game. We're in front of our home fans, guys. This might be the last game on home ice this regular season. Or it definitely is regardless. Can we force a Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Finals? Come on. Do it for your fans, guys. Do it for your fans. They've witnessed a great season. Let's keep it going. Good penalty kill to start off this game. Come on, boys. Penalty kill again. Stop taking penalties here, please. Thank you. At least the penalty kill started off good so far here, and then they score. Wallstrom opens the score, and that's not good. We only have one shot in this opening period. And we're only going to have 2 shots after the first period, so we're falling back to the old ways, at least of Game 3 and 4, where we didn't take a lot of shots. That's not good. Because we need a lot more shots like that, our shots than 2 shots to beat Spencer Knight. Because or else Spencer Knight is just going to suffocate us, and we're going to end up losing the game, unless he's not warmed up enough, but who knows if that's the case. Come on, guys. We need somebody to step up in the second period and keep our season alive. Who wants to do it? Who wants to do it? It's Festorini, apparently. He ties it at 1. That's a huge goal on the 3rd shot of the game. So I guess we got to Spencer Knight early on. Penalty kill in the second period. We managed to kill it off. Nicely done, boys. And a goal from Keith. Let's go, Keith. That's 29 points, but Peltier ties it back up on Cox. Not good. Final few minutes of the second period, and once again we have a 2-2 game after 2 periods. Once again, this could be our last period coming up of the season. It might not be. Shots are 22-15 in favor of Florida, and it's a 2-2 game. Who wants to be the hero in the third period? You know who I'm calling on again. Parrott, you want to be the hero, or Jorgensen? Let's see what happens. This might be the last period of the season. Power play early in the third. We do not convert. That was the power play to get it. Penalty kill in this third period. When we kill it off. Come on, boys. This is so crucial. Final 5 minutes. Come on, boys. Come on, please. Oh my goodness. We're going to overtime in Game 6. I would watch this. I don't know if I should watch this or not, but I don't want to see them score on us and then, like, the disappointment, you know? I'd rather it be through the sim engine if that's going to be the case. But, I mean, if we score a goal, it might be the most historic goal in franchise history. Who knows? But I think I'm just going to do it in sim engine-wise way. We're being outshot 32-28. Going into this third period, it's a 2-2 game. We allow the next goal. We lose the Stanley Cup. We score the next goal. We go to a Game 7 for the Stanley Cup. Come on, boys. I'm going to call on the top guys again. You've been so good so far. Or even the underrated guys. Maybe somebody comes through that has not scored yet, like Kalinin. That would be really funny. Can we survive another day? Please, please, please. Jorgen's power play opportunity. We do not score on it. Come on, power play. You've been so good in the playoffs and you don't convert on that opportunity there. God damn. Another power play, please. Man, we do not convert again. Wow. We're getting power play opportunities, but unfortunately we're not scoring on them. And we are going to a double overtime situation. Okay, maybe I have to watch this now. Maybe I have to watch this now since we're going to a double overtime. Usually it ends quick in the sim engine, and I know if you watch it instead, sometimes it doesn't go quickly. So yeah, you know what? We're going to watch this. This is a big game in franchise history. We get the next goal, we go to a Game 7 for the Stanley Cup. We allow the next goal, we lose the Stanley Cup. So hopefully we don't have to see a Stanley Cup celebration in our home ice right now. So let's see what happens. Come on, boys. Who wants to be that hero? Who do you guys think is going to score? If for us, I would say Parrott. For them, I don't really know who I'd say. Maybe that Lowell lead on the second line. Okay, Keith had to draw against Barkov. 2 really good two-way forwards. A future Selke winner probably against a reigning Selke winner, I should say. Here comes Zikov, the defenseman. Carries it in, holds it back. Here's Keith. Coley Mine and down low Jorgensen with a shot. The captain had a great chance there, but he stopped. Jorgensen again, and Knight with a big save. Good forcing turnovers, boys, and getting some chances early in OT2. I like it. Oh, this is so stressful. We have a couple 20-point players in this playoffs. It's great to see the depth scoring. Come on, Keith. He wins the loss to face off again. Yeah, that face off matchup's interesting. Him versus Barkov. Come on, guys, get it away, get it away. Boo, boo. Nice play, Zikov. Good shutdown play. Bickle finds it to Kolimainen. He kind of bobbled the pass. Oh, whoever it is has a really weird skating stance. That's Jorgensen. He's kind of got like the upright skating stance, kind of like Eichel, I think. It's kind of weird. Hey, is that a holding penalty, ref? No, it's not, against Tkachuk. And Jorgensen with a huge pick there. He finds it over to Bickle. Come on, Bickle. Can't get by. Tkachuk again with the puck for Florida. Poke it off of him. Don't let him get by Kolimainen. Oh my goodness, that was dangerous. That was a really bad play defensively by Kolimainen. Keith over to Kolimainen. Get it out, guys. Get it out. Zikov finds it up to Bickle. This might be a long episode. Depends on how long this OT goes, but... Ooh, come on, guys. Come on. Get it away, get it away, get it away. Nice poke check. That was a great time poke check by Zikov. Turned over. Schneider with a quick chance in that stop rebound, and Florida scores this Stanley Cup winner there from Travis Konechny in overtime. Oh, man. We lose the Stanley Cup in 6 games on our own home ice. That was just a bad rebound let out, and nobody played enough good defense on there. But we lose to the Florida Panthers, and we have to see the new Stanley Cup celebration against the team we lost against. But for our first ever playoff run, what a successful year. But for the fact that we lost in this Cup Finals, it is painful, because I know the fact that if we lose in multiple Stanley Cup Finals, or if we lose in the Stanley Cup Finals, we might not ever get there again. But Spencer Knight, yep, he was Florida's man. He wins the Conn Smythe, not a surprise. Oh man, this hurts. That close to winning the Stanley Cup. We came 1 goal shy of getting ourselves to a Game 7, and anything could have happened in that Game 7. But we decided to watch instead, and there Florida gets to celebrate with some blue confetti. That's probably our confetti for our team color, I don't know. Oh, this hurts. Barkov there celebrating with the cup. Man, that could have been Jorgensen right there. That sucks. I don't know how loud the crowd is, because there's not a lot of Florida Panthers fans. Actually, there's a decent amount of Florida Panthers fans in the crowd, it looks like. Oh, I get to choose who has the Stanley Cup next still. Oh, no, it's automatically selecting, I think. Yeah, it's automatically selecting, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's automatically selecting. AI gets the automatically select, since I don't own the Florida Panthers, but... Interesting, so they pass it off to Devontae's. This is my first time seeing the new celebration where they pass it on and stuff like that. Passes on to Devontae's, who's 37 years old, winning the Stanley Cup, so makes sense that they pass it on to him next. And who's he going to pass it on to is the question. He's going to pass it on to, looks like Anton Lundell. Yep, Anton Lundell. Don't know the reasoning for Anton Lundell. Maybe it's because his first ever Stanley Cup. I don't really know exactly. Maybe he had a good playoffs. Oh, man. That close. Maybe I shouldn't have watched that double OT instead, but who knows. I don't know if the circumstances would have been different or not. And they're going to pass it on to Spencer Knight next, probably. Yep, since they need to pass it to a goaltender. There you go, Spencer Knight getting that Stanley Cup. Oh, I beat Florida before for the Stanley Cup with my Arizona Coyotes in NHL 22, but this time around we lose them with the Draft Glory team. That hurts. That close. Our fans get to see a Stanley Cup at least in the building, but we're not too far away from maybe winning a Stanley Cup of our own. Just maybe a good draft selection away, or getting a good fourth line away from winning it. But now it's going to feel like every single season that we don't get to the Stanley Cup Finals is a colossal failure. So there you go, the Florida Panthers, the Stanley Cup champions. Oh, that is unfortunate. Oh yeah, and we get to see this thing too. I wish we got to see this with the Ice Tigers on it. God damn it. I forgot about this cutscene too. You get to see all the Florida Panthers players' names on the cup. Let's see all their names. There they are. Barkov was the captain. There's Cote, Danks, Dobson, Ekblad, Jung, Knack, Knight, Konechny, Leonard, Lundell, Moser, Olsen, Peltier, Pokolzen, Schneider, Sordif, Tavares, Kachuk, Taze, Deschurgal, Veselainen, and Wallstrom. I'm surprised I actually managed to read that all out. But there you go. 20-30-31 Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers. Derek Keith got third star of the game. We had some good chances early into that OT as well. Stupid Konechny with the Stanley Cup winning goal. Oh, Lundell assisted on the cup winning goal. And then Spencer Knight, yeah. Spencer Knight was way too good in that series, but here's the cup winning goal just in case you guys wanted to suffer a little bit more of a loss. Dobson kept it in. And then Zykov makes a good play with the stick here, but it gets deflected to the front of our net. Konechny lost it, and then this is a turnover by Zykov, the defenseman. Yeah, that's a really bad turnover. And McDonald, or what is his name? Schneider. I knew it was a common name. He shoots a backhander that is kind of going off the post, and then Cox makes the save, but he lets out a big rebound. And then Lundell picks this up and finds Konechny in front of the net, which nobody's covering him. Like Zykov, the defenseman, for some reason jumped all the way up there. And Coley Minen is not in the right spot. Konechny turns himself into it and just pops it in the wide open net. Wow, that's unfortunate. Okay, final few things to wrap up this season. Let's simulate up like till the draft and stuff like that, but we'll also take a look at our player stats for the playoff run and the awards for the season. See, there you go. Florida wins the Stanley Cup, and the Bridgeport Islanders win the AHL. Oh, that sucks. That close. That close to a Stanley Cup win. Florida goes through, who did they go through in the first round? Boston, then they go through Ottawa, then they go through the Capitals, and then us. Let's take a look at those awards. Florida, the Stanley Cup, President's Trophy to Seattle. Anchorage Ice Tigers obviously getting the Clarence S. Campbell, and Florida getting the Prince of Wales. Shane Wright, the Art Ross. Malachi Gallant, who I think we could have drafted, got the Hart. Adam Foxton Norris. Shane Wright, the Lady Byng. Brashear, who we could have drafted, gets the Calder. Spencer Knight, the Conn Smythe. Hicketts gets the Vezina for Seattle. Kakinen, the Jennings for Chicago. Alexiev gets the Bill Masterton. Seadu for Winnipeg gets the Jack Adams. And look at that. Keith is going to win his first ever Selke. And I think he's only like 21. So he might have been younger actually than Jääskeläinen. So very impressed with Keith. Winning a Selke already. Maybe he's going to be the next Jääskeläinen of the series. Fantastic. Good job there, Keith. Gallant wins the Lindsay. Matthews gets the Maurice Richard. And Ovechkin got some AHL awards. Interesting that he's in the AHL still. So there you go in terms of the awards. Unfortunately, we do not win the Stanley Cup. Let's actually take a look at our player stats in that playoffs still, because I want to take a look at that. So, yeah, Keith, 29 points in 23 games. And he's only 21, and he just won his first ever Selke. Like, his regular season numbers pretty good. His face-off numbers, though, this is where he's really good at. 56% this year, and he had 156 takeaways. This kid is going to win a lot of Selkies, for sure. And then playoff-wise, fantastic playoff numbers. A lot of assists, mostly, but look at that. Face-offs were over 50%. Good takeaways as well. Parrott was great in the playoffs, of course. 5 game-winning goals. Unreal. Zykov had 18 points, Claxton 10 points, Hartnell only 6 points, but he is a young guy, so hopefully he gets a lot of growth. Bickle was good, Festerini was good, Hull was Cox was and then Jorgensen was really good. Looks like they already sent somebody down to the minors, I think. Oh, that might be Walzer they sent down. But yeah, Jorgensen was almost point per game as well. Zykov was fantastic, Harakala was good, Moroza was good defensively, Kolemainen, Farrell, Strachan, and Kalinin. And goalie-wise, Neal was not great, but Cox was fantastic. So the future is bright for sure for this team in terms of that. Okay, let's quickly wrap up the season and get set up for next season, or the next off-season. Montreal has first, followed by Carolina, Minnesota, Detroit, and Philadelphia as your top 5. And we're going to have like the 31st overall pick or 32nd overall pick. Which sucks. Ovechkin retires. Wow. 86 points. Over 1,000 goals. Or 1,100 goals, I should say. Some pretty big retirements this year, it looks like. Devon Toews retires as the Stanley Cup champion. No wonder they gave him the Stanley Cup in that celebration. And there you go in terms of retirements. Goalie-wise, Hellebuck retires, Gibson, Markstrom, Forsberg. So some pretty good goalies as well. So there you go. Any of them coaches now. Mark Scheifele is now coach. Interesting. And for us, we did not lose a single coach. Good. And we'll go continue simulating. Let's take a look at those progress reports, the contract situation, and the draft class, and like the draft board thing, and albeit. So Keith only getting a little bit of growth. It's weird, but it's to his poise. Parrot's getting also a little bit of growth, which is good. Zikov getting growth. Moroz getting growth. Yeah, our defensive score is getting better. Moroz is up to an 84 based on statistical growth mostly. Eric Howell is getting a lot of natural growth, which is good. Yeah, this is a pretty good looking team. In terms of the growth and stuff, Hartnell up to an 81, slowly growing. Cox is an 80 overall now. So he's actually like a legit backup. And Cassian could honestly be in the NHL almost next season. That's pretty solid. Taves getting some more growth in the AHL. Duncan's actually almost ready to be an NHL goalie as well. What else we got here for growth? Pusher's growing. Eichel's growing. Vaiaholi's growing. A lot of growth in the system too. I really like that. Walzer went up to a 75. He's going to be still in the NHL probably next season, since he's got the potential. Farrell's up to a 70. Is in the forward. Pretty solid. So it looks like we're getting some good growth, which is exactly what the team needs in terms of being an even better team next season. Final few things are contracts. Bickle's the big one. He's an RFA, but this is his last year of RFA rights. He wants $20 million if we go for 8 years. So I don't really know what we do with Bickle in terms of contracts, but we should definitely try and bring him back at least for one more year while he has RFA rights. Coley Minen's kind of expensive, but we could qualify him if we want to. Cox wants kind of too much. He might end up getting replaced, to be honest. Farrell, we should easily be able to get him back. Kalinin wants a lot of money. Which is kind of ridiculous. Hull, what does he want? Not too much, which is okay. And then we got a lot of AHLers. Walzer is an RFA still, which is good, but he's actually cheap still, so that's good. So some of these guys might be in the NHL team as early as next season. Taze wants a 2-way contract. That's good. So that way we have a third string goalie in case. And our final thing to do is take a look at this draft class. Let's first take a look at the draft board. Where are we drafting? 32nd, right? Yeah, 32nd overall. Wow. 32nd. That's our latest pick ever so far in this franchise mode. And of course there's a franchise power forward that goes first overall this year when we have our chance to win the Stanley Cup. That's like Milan Lucic apparently though. So there you go. Let's go all the way down to 32nd. So we're looking at maybe somebody like DeRocher, who looks actually pretty good, 2 years out apparently too. So we'll pin him. Pierre Morales, 3 years. What else we got here? 3 years. Maybe a medium elite here in this goaltender. Maybe. We'll pin him in case. Guaranteed top 6 gem. That's 3 years out in Alex Reed. We'll pin him. Another guaranteed top 6 in Caffrey. We'll pin him. Another top 6 in Morgan Law, who's just a good shooter pretty much. A low elite sniper in Ted Darby, who looks fantastic. Oh man. That's going to be our pick, guys. That's more than likely going to be our pick. That gives us another good scoring option. A low elite sniper that is NHL ready. I like that. After losing the Stanley Cup, that's a great pick. Yeah, Darby is easily the unanimous pick here, I think. Unless there's any other low elites around that spot. Wow, was not expecting the second round to have that much of a good of a steal. But obviously we're going to take him in the first round since we have a late pick. Here's another low elite 2A forward. We'll pin him in case. More low elites, the better. And we don't really know about anybody else. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Anchorage Ice Tigers Draft the Glory franchise mode. So it sucks that we lost the Stanley Cup, but I think the future is still really bright for this team, considering all the talent we have. And then the fact that we could get ourselves a low elite sniper that's NHL ready in the draft to add to this roster is really awesome. So let me guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.